They said the truth would never come out. But guess what? The streets are whispering, the blogs are exploding, and Lil Durk just dropped a bombshell that nobody saw coming. For years, people have been connecting dots, forming theories, and accusing everyone of everything when it comes to King Von's death. But this time, the truth didn't leak from a fan page. It came straight from Durk himself. Yeah, you heard that right. The same Durk who stayed silent through every headline, every accusation, every fake tweet. He just spoke up, and what he revealed flipped the internet upside down. So what really happened between Durk and Von? Was it loyalty that went wrong? Fame that turned fatal? Or something deeper, something darker, that no one dared to say out loud until now? Because the message Durk just sent out isn't a diss, it's not a song, and it's definitely not damage control. It feels like a confession, or at least that's what fans are calling it. Whatever side you're on, buckle up. This isn't just a story, this is an explosion, and when the smoke clears, nobody's reputation will be left standing. Stay right here, because the truth? It's messier than anyone imagined. It started like every internet mystery, a late-night post, a few cryptic words, and the entire hip-hop world losing its mind by sunrise. The comment sections were on fire. Fan pages were posting decoded theories like they were working for the FBI. And in the middle of it all was Lil Durk, the man everyone thought had moved on, suddenly breaking his silence in a way no one expected. For years, fans have been whispering that there's more to King Von's death than what meets the eye. Conspiracy channels built careers connecting dots that probably never existed. Every lyric, every expression, every missed feature between Durk and Von was treated like hidden evidence in an unsolved case. But this time, it felt different. Because Durk didn't post a typical caption. No long live Von. No OTF forever. Instead, he dropped a line that hit the internet like an earthquake. Some people die legends. Others die with secrets. That one sentence, posted and deleted within minutes, was all it took. Screenshots went viral faster than breaking news alerts. Within hours, TikTok detectives were building 10-part theories. Twitter Spaces ran 3-hour debates, and Reddit threads were so detailed you'd think they were written by federal agents. Everyone wanted to know, what secret was he talking about? And more importantly, was it about Von? Now let's rewind. To understand why this shook the entire culture, you have to remember the history. Lil Durk and King Von weren't just collaborators. They were brothers in spirit. Chicago raised them, fame changed them, but loyalty was supposed to bind them. At least that's what everyone believed. The industry, though, is a maze of deals, egos, and betrayals hiding behind handshakes. Fans saw unity. Insiders saw cracks forming long before tragedy struck. When Von was alive, he was blowing up fast. His storytelling and street charisma were undeniable. Some blogs even called him the next Durk. But in hip-hop, the next is rarely a compliment. It's a warning. Fame is a jealous friend, and in a world where one man's rise can look like another man's replacement, tension never stays far away. Still, in public, Durk played the proud big brother. He cheered Von on, shouted at him out, and posted his wins. But the industry, as always, whispered other stories. Disagreements over money, labels, management, even creative control. The kind of stuff that never hits interviews but always sneaks through studio gossip. Then came the night that changed everything. The night Von's life ended. No one needs the details. Everyone remembers where they were when they heard the news. It wasn't just another headline. It was a heartbreak for a generation. For Durk, it was personal. His brother gone, his team shattered, his name suddenly tied to a tragedy that would follow him forever. For a while, he stayed quiet. Too quiet. And when he finally spoke, it wasn't through interviews, it was through music. Every lyric, every bar felt like a puzzle piece. Fans heard guilt in his silence and pain in his flow. Did he know something? Was there more to the story? The questions wouldn't stop, and Durk, being Durk, didn't answer. He let the mystery breathe. It was brilliant and catastrophic. Suddenly, every Lil Durk lyric sounded like a secret message. He said, "Voices in my head, maybe that's guilt." He said, "I'm still here." Maybe that's defiance. He said, "They switched sides." Maybe that's King Von. It didn't matter what he meant. It mattered what fans felt. Then, out of nowhere, an audio leak hit Reddit, supposedly a snippet of Durk's unreleased track titled Confessions of the Real. The clip was low quality, muffled, maybe even AI generated, but it sounded close enough to fool millions. The alleged lyrics? I told the truth and they called it betrayal. I kept it hidden, but karma's my jail. That single line broke the internet. Twitter Spaces ran all night with titles like, "Is this the end of Durk?" and "Von's legacy exposed." People cried, laughed, argued, some even prayed live. One person claimed they saw Durk remove all pictures of Von from his page. Spoiler, he didn't. Another swore his verified account liked a shady comment before unliking it 2 minutes later. It was chaos wrapped in clickbait. And just when people thought the frenzy couldn't get crazier, it did. A major hip-hop blog posted an exclusive, claiming federal investigators were monitoring social media chatter. Totally baseless, but it gave every YouTuber new fuel. Suddenly, everyone was quoting official sources that didn't exist. Words like indictment, retrial, and confession tape started popping up in thumbnails. One post even joked, "FBI agents reviewing Durk's lyrics." Someone replied, "Bro, the man can't even rhyme truth with roof without y'all thinking it's evidence." But reason didn't matter. The story was too addictive. Meanwhile, fans on TikTok began reenacting imaginary scenes between Durk and Von. Slow-motion edits, AI voice narrations, sad music, turning tragedy into entertainment. People cried in the comments. Others argued it was disrespectful, and some just typed, "He finally exposed them all." Durk, still silent, became the center of the loudest conversation in hip-hop. Then, at 2 a.m., his story updated again. Black background, no caption, just the word enough. That one word was all it took to send the internet into another spiral. Was he saying enough of the lies? Enough of the guilt? Enough of the fans? Nobody knew, but one thing was certain. He wasn't finished, because right after that story, an unknown SoundCloud link began circulating through burner accounts. The title, Letter to the Streets. Fans clicked it expecting a random leak. What they heard instead would shake the online world for days. The voice on the track, whether AI or real, sounded exactly like Durk. The tone, the delivery, everything. And in that voice he said, "They think I kept quiet because I'm scared. I kept quiet because truth doesn't fit headlines." That single line became the quote of the year. Every reaction channel, every blog, every tweet, all of them plastered it everywhere. Trying to truth, don't fit headlines trended for 2 straight days. But here's the kicker. Nobody could confirm where the track came from. It wasn't on his official pages. It wasn't from his team. It appeared, went viral, and vanished. The link deleted, the account gone. Only blurry re-uploads with millions of views remained. That's when things turned darker. Because if that leak wasn't official, then who posted it? Fans started theorizing. Maybe a hacker, maybe an ex-associate, maybe someone inside his camp. Comment sections became war zones. People accused each other of faking leaks, editing clips, chasing clout. Meanwhile, others pretended to have exclusive audio just to gain followers. The truth was officially lost in the noise. But one thing was clear. Durk's name was everywhere again. Every algorithm loved it, and whether the story was real or not didn't matter anymore. It was viral, and that's what counted. And just when it seemed like the world couldn't take any more confusion, something real happened. A verified journalist, yes, an actual one this time, posted that Durk's label had scheduled an emergency press call for the next morning. No details, no reason, just a date and a time. That was it. The internet froze. Every fan, every blogger, every so-called insider, everyone set alarms. Was this the confession? Was this Durk finally exposing everything? The next morning, the world woke up to mayhem. Every phone, every notification, every trending topic screamed the same words. Lil Durk speaks. Fans gathered like it was the Super Bowl of drama. Thousands waited for the live stream. Blogs had countdowns. Reaction channels sat in dark rooms, ring lights glowing, thumbnails already made that said, "Shocking revelation." Everyone expected an apology, a confession, maybe even a breakdown. And then, boom. The live stream started, but instead of Lil Durk behind a desk with lawyers and tissues like a scandalized politician, the screen faded to a dark studio. Low light, smoke swirling in the air. His voice came through first, calm, serious, heavy. They told me to stay quiet. They said, let the story die. But how can I stay quiet when the story has my name on it? Silence. Then he continued, everybody wants the truth, right? But y'all don't want the truth. Y'all want something to point at. Somebody to blame. Y'all want a headline, but I ain't a headline. I'm human. The internet lost its mind. Twitter threads exploded. He's confessing, screamed one. No, he's talking about fake news, argued another. Comments piled up faster than the chat could load. Comments piled up faster than the chat could load. Then Durk leaned forward and said something that froze the feed. Von's name got dragged more after he passed than it ever did when he was alive. And y'all wonder why I stopped talking. That was the line, the one that set everything ablaze. Blogs clipped it, remixed it, turned it into reels and memes. Some called it deep, others called it manipulative. But everyone agreed on one thing, it was powerful. Then he went further. Y'all talk about loyalty like it's a hashtag. I lived that. I lost brothers for it. I bled for it. And y'all made it content. So if you think I'm exposing something, yeah, I am. I'm exposing how fake y'all get when tragedy turns into views. Boom, mic drop. For a few seconds, nobody said a word. Even the most ruthless gossip channels went silent. Because suddenly, it wasn't about who said what. It was about how we made it worse. Then, as if scripted by Netflix, Durk played a track, unreleased, emotional, raw. No drums, just piano and pain. He rapped like he was exhaling everything he'd been holding in for years. They made us ghosts while we still breathing, turning pain to profit. That's how they're eating. Von ain't a mystery. Von was a soul, and y'all sold his story before it got cold. It wasn't just a verse, it was a statement. The chat went insane. People were spamming crying emojis, others typing, "This is history," and then the stream cut out. Just like that, no outro. No thank you, just silence. But that silence was louder than any beat drop, because within an hour, the clip had already reached millions. Everyone was reacting, from hip-hop legends to random people who had never even heard of King Von before this week. Some called it art, some called it damage control. But one thing everyone agreed on. This was the first time Lil Durk had truly spoken. Now, of course, the internet can't let anything end peacefully. A leaked transcript of the live stream started circulating online, full of fake quotes like, "I know who did it," and "I'm ready to tell everything." None of it was real. But you know how it goes. If it's dramatic, people will believe it. Then came the backlash. Other rappers started chiming in. Some accused Durk of profiting off pain. Others defended him, saying he was finally speaking his truth. One even tweeted, "At least he said something."
Half these dudes hide behind lawyers and excuses. It was the perfect storm, morality, music, and madness colliding all at once. And while everyone else was arguing online, Durk went silent again.
No posts, no comments. No stories, just gone. That's when the memes started. Durk after dropping the truth, showing him vanishing into thin air. The internet laughed, but deep down, even fans knew something had shifted. Because for the first time, the spotlight wasn't on conspiracy, it was on culture. On how fast the internet twists pain into a trend, on how loyalty became entertainment. A few days later, Durk's label released an official statement, short, vague, and suspiciously polished. It read, "Lil Durk stands by his message. Truth is deeper than headlines. New music coming soon." And just like that, people moved on. Not because they found closure, but because something newer, flashier, and messier had popped up in the timeline. That's how fast digital loyalty dies. But for those who were really watching, the message hit deeper. It wasn't about guilt or innocence. It was about how, in this world, truth doesn't trend unless it's controversial. By the end of the week, the livestream clip had crossed 50 million views. Think pieces, documentaries, and reaction breakdowns flooded YouTube. One headline read, "Did Lil Durk just end internet culture?" Another said, "The most real moment in hip-hop history." But here's the irony. The same system Durk criticized turned his message into content too. The truth he dropped became another viral clip in the very cycle he wanted to destroy. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Because in a world that worships chaos, even the truth gets edited for clicks. And that, my friends, is how the truth finally broke the internet. Not with a press release, not with a statement, but with raw emotion and a mic drop heard around the world. So now I've got to ask you, what do you think? Was Lil Durk genuinely speaking from the heart? Or was this all one giant publicity move to flip the narrative? Did he finally clear his name? Or did he just open a door that can never be closed again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to see your theories. Was the truth really about King Von, or was it about how we, the fans, treat pain like entertainment? Because one thing's for sure, this story isn't just about loyalty or legacy anymore. It's about fame, silence, and how the internet eats its own heroes alive. If you've been following every twist of this saga, you already know what to do. Hit that like button till it breaks. Subscribe if you live for the chaos and truth-telling that only Spillora brings, and make sure you turn on notifications, because you never know when the next bombshell's gonna drop. Tomorrow's headline might be even wilder. New leaks, new voices, new drama. And you know we'll be right here, breaking it all down, with sarcasm, receipts, and zero chill. So stay tuned, stay questioning, and remember, in this game, there's always another truth waiting to be exposed. This is Spillora, signing off, where the story never sleeps, and the tea never cools down.